What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Ah! Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
That man's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my bullstick.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and asked me to discuss.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick Fuck Marry Kill. And on this week's episode, I'm joined once again by John.
I'm John. Yeah, man, it's good to be back and doing this one. And I'm really excited to talk about this flick. And when you brought it back up, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you hadn't reviewed that one. So I was like, absolutely, I want to be on that one.
Yeah, I had it had been kind of sitting in the back of my mind of wanting to do it. And so when me and you had hit each other up about doing the show together, and this one of the ones I wanted to do with you was this one, because this was one of the ones when I started getting into horror. It was in that list of movies you kind of shot at me.
Yeah.
So it was one I watched early on when I first started putting my toe into the horror pool, and before I just fell head fucking first into it.
Hey, you're drowning, man.
Hey, hey. If I gotta go, then damn it, let that be the way I go.
Yep. But no, man. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one. And yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Channel's doing good. To everybody who's watching and subscribing, man, thank y'all. It's you made that. I forget which video. I think me and you did it. Maybe it was when we did it in a violent nature that you brought up about like once you get 100 subs.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a live stream and stuff like that, and it seems like they're calling your bluff on it because
they've
been steadily climbing week after week.
Yeah, I had someone actually hit me up today through YouTube, and he commented on there. Well, she, I don't know, because they got one of them names like something you don't juice or something juice. I don't know. But I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But they made the comment like, I guess they've been listening on Spotify, and then once he was listening to that In the Violent Nature, he did. That's where he got it. He goes, "I heard you were going to throw a party when you get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, so I came over here to subscribe." So yeah, so once I put that out, and it's going to happen, people. If I get to 100 subscribers, we're going live on YouTube, and I've never done that. I'm going to have to Google and figure out how to do it.
Yeah, you'll have to figure out how to add me in so that if I'm free that night, I can jump in and celebrate with you. But yeah, no, man, it's coming. So
baby steps, baby, baby steps.
It's gonna be funny that once you get 100 subscribers, that your live stream celebrating is probably what's gonna get your channel finally banned.
It might do it. There's a good possibility. Like we'll go live and YouTube will be like, "What the fuck?" And
there's gonna be a lot of people. There's gonna be a lot of people tuning in, like you watch a NASCAR race, like just waiting for a wreck.
Yeah, he's finally gonna crash and burn. This is This is what finally gets that shit show off the air. Is this live episode? And because I told you earlier, and I'm telling y'all now, if you're on the YouTube version, you can see this. Behind me is a bottle of the Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels. And
is that like a special blend or something?
Oh yeah, it's a super smooth. It's quite a bit more pricey.
So you have drank that before?
Oh yeah, I've had it before.
Gotcha.
My wife bought me this one for my birthday, and this one hasn't even been opened yet. The seal has not been popped.
Gonna pop the cherry for it.
The live episode, people. we opening that box right there with that Frank Sinatra, and we going straight on with it. Ain't gonna be no Coca-Cola at the table that night.
Just remember that you got to wait until you get like 102 or 103 just to make sure that by the time you get to do the live, it's not now below 100.
Yeah, I got a feeling I'll lose a few after the live.
Yeah.
So maybe I should kind of, get a little pad in it, maybe.
You have the kind of fans that would do shit like that just to fuck with you. Like honestly, they may end up doing it during the live stream. That'd be hilarious if you start the live stream at 103, you ended at 98. Like,
yeah, motherfuckers be like, still watching but unsubscribing at the same.
Yeah,
we're gonna fuck with him. We'll come back in about 2 weeks. We'll bump it back up.
Yeah. Teach him a lesson.
Yeah, but hey, yeah. So the numbers have done good. The views, everything. We definitely appreciate it. If you're listening to this, you should probably. This is Monday for you. And normally we drop it on Friday, but me and John had our schedules opened up, and and I have the time to do it. So if this is Monday, you're listening to this, you may be driving to work on this Monday morning. You are driving to work right now with that voice in your head going, man, I don't fucking want to do this shit this week. I don't fucking go. Fuck them people. Fuck that job. But you're going to listen to this little shit show and you'll get a little chuckle maybe.
Yeah,
might get a little giggle. It might,
you'll get pushed over the edge, and you'll finally do something at work that you shouldn't do.
Yeah, you might actually go in there and call them a bunch of cunts and get fired and just say fuck it, But hey, that it's okay. But like I said, this may help the drive in.
Right.
You're listening to this, and we can give you a little chuckle, make your Monday go a little better. Go into work with like fuck you, you're cool,
yeah,
and go on about your fucking day. But before we get into some of the housekeeping shit, people, it's all all know by now. It's all in the links. FrightFlickFMKPodcast.com. We're on all the social media shit. I don't mess around as much with fucking TikTok because TikTok pisses me the fuck off. Cause
why is that?
Those bitches will fucking like. I could put up one little video. Normally what I do is I put up like what's coming out that week. I'll do a little something. Like the one would be over like, and I don't get big numbers, people. If you listen to the shit show, my numbers ain't huge. But when I see on my TikTok and I get 400 or 500 views on something, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I post one up for the past episode that just came out on Friday, Scare Campaign. I post that one up. 24 hours later, it shows 17 fucking views.
Yeah, I've seen like stuff like that, like just kind of looking up like ways to work with it, and I don't understand the rhyme or reasoning. But I mean, I've seen it even with YouTube channels and stuff like that. I have no idea what about that algorithm. Because I mean, like most people, you use usually the same tags and stuff like that. So, why did
same?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Different episode, different video, and it gets 17. I don't know. I don't know if fucking Zuckerberg is out there fucking with shit or not, but he need to lay off the Meta, whatever the fuck that shit is.
They don't do TikTok. That'd be IG though.
IG does that?
Yeah, I think Meta owns IG. I believe. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not deal with them.
I'm not social media savvy, people. I literally will drag a picture, drop it, copy and paste it, push it out to the public. That's about as far as I can go.
I stepped away from all of that a few years ago, and I don't miss it at all. But no, yeah. So yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't understand that at all.
We're on social media. Yeah. I spend most of my time on the Instagram or the Facebook. That's pretty much my two main ones.
Gotcha.
With the Facebook, it's mine, and then the Fright Flick page. Mine's usually just a bunch of bullshit memes. The Fright Flick page is more of the horror shit, Instagram horror. But yeah, Fright Flick FMK, you can find us there. You can also leave us a message or whatever. If you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, leave us a review. Leave us some stars. For some reason, I don't get many of those.
of the reviews.
Yeah, I really don't like.
I mean, but honestly, if you got to look at it from like a percentage standpoint, because like, I mean, apart from like fucking Joe Rogan and shit, there's like several shows I listen to that I know that like they get a few million listens every week, and on Spotify they may have 5-6K reviews. So it's all the same. It's crazy how, I don't know, like I don't get that, because like if I like something, I'll sub.
Yeah.
And then, maybe I'll be subscribed, whether it's a YouTube channel or like a podcast or something. I'll generally stick with it until like either they stop posting shit or it kind of runs its course and that phase of whatever I was into is over. But yeah, dude, apparently there's just so many people out there just going straight Badlands. Like, will watch videos, will not leave a fucking thumbs up, will not fucking sub for nothing. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't
past some shit, man. They'll scroll right past some shit.
Right. Like the algorithm is still there. So I mean, it's like, I'm not going to get away from it. So like, I might as well fucking use it. I want the algorithm. It's already listening. I at least wanted to listen to the right shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't understand that side of the house. We just get on here and because we enjoy horror movies and getting on here talking shit. So that's what we're gonna keep doing it that way. And
I will give a quick shout out to our very, very small audience, but we've talked about him before. Filmmaker Jonathan Doe.
Yep.
His oh my crap, I know, and I'm subscribed to it. I forget because he's got like different names for all of his shit.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't use like an umbrella term for like all of the stuff that he does. Cinema's Underbelly, that's his YouTube channel. It's a great YouTube channel. But him and I forget the kid's name, but he's another filmmaker. They've started this new like weekly series where they like talk about horror movies, but it kind of has like an old school public access vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys, I think the first episode was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They just put episode 2 out, but if you guys are looking for something a little bit different out there, and that's we're fans of his. Jay's fan of Barf Bunny.
Oh yeah, like I said, I plug shit on this damn show that I just like. I don't expect shit back,
No.
They're just shit I like, and I'm cool.
If you guys do go over there though, feel free to comment like, "Hey, Fright Flick FMK told me to come check you guys out," because they get way more plays than we do. So it would be great if some of their people would come over here and check us out. So
we scratch your back, you scratch ours.
Yes, all kinds of just Dutch rudder in it, bud.
Yeah, little quid pro quo.
Yep.
And my
give it to get. So this week we're talking about American Mary. I remember this being one that I suggested to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one is another one that should be in the disturbing movie talk more than what it really is. But don't get me wrong, this is a great entry. We rate them on fuck 'em, marry, kill. Obviously, spoiler alerts, we're getting into the fucking shit now, everybody. So if you haven't watched this yet, watch it. We're gonna spoil the fucking shit out of it.
It's a 2012 film, people. 2012.
Absolutely. And it's currently free on Tubi.
Yep. You've had plenty of fucking time to watch it. And like you said, free on Tubi. You can go check this thing out.
And you can still find it on physical as well. Boom. There you go. So there we did not. We chatted for like 30 minutes before we fucking press record. But never once did we mention that both of us had our copy of American Mary sitting here.
Yeah, sitting right in front of me.
Yeah. That's fucking rad. Everybody who just watched that, I did not know Jay had his ready. I didn't tell him I had mine ready. So
I didn't even think about it leading up to it. Like I had it sitting here in front of me, and didn't even talk about that. It just happened we just kind of walked right into that one. Worked out well though. Worked out well.
No, but if you're wanting to again one of those where you can dip your toe into extreme. This is, again, regardless of what we say, because again, when we rate them, we tell you watch the fucking thing anyway. Don't avoid a movie because we told you to. But this is a great entry point, I think, into disturbing cinema. And that's why it was on when I sent you the list, being like, all right, like if you want some, I got a couple of like quick light jabs for you, and let's see how you take those. You know,
It was like that. It was like those, people, us, I fall in that category. I'm not ashamed to say it. You know how it is when those sexual type people that like to be a little bit punished, that likes that kind of like slap around,
the S and
a little
M.
bit. And that's kind of how this movie was like, you're going to dip your toe into it. We're going to give you a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, daddy wants some more.
Yeah. Cause I've seen this movie. God, I mean, I'd probably say, well, it's well into double digits. And for me, that's a lot of times to watch the same movie again. Like I've got almost 900 unique ones here. So, and I have streaming services, but like, I just rewatch. It's probably been a couple of years since I've watched it at this point, and I just rewatched it for this, and I was surprised at like some of the scenes and stuff, and being like, fuck, man, that's some gruesome shit. It for a movie that doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to disturbing cinema. I think if you're fans of those icebergs shits people do on fucking YouTube, this is the one that's like either peeking out of the surface or right below the surface of the water. Because it does have some intense shit, because it's all about body modification.
Yeah, and for this one, and one thing I will say, because when I watch movies like this, I see the dates, and I still in my mind I go like 2012. That's a minute ago. It's not a long time ago, but it's still 2012. And I did read up on it that there was no CGI involved in this movie.
No, this was 100% practical.
Yeah, these two badass bitches, Jen and Sylvia Soska.
It's pronounced Soska.
Just two, and when I say badass bitches, this ain't in a bad way, people. This is just two, and I am a huge fan of female directed horror movies. I don't know why. I just find that cool. And
I do like it, especially when they can get when there's not this message, because we live in that fucking age, and obviously everybody who watches and listens to us knows we ain't about that kind of fucking life.
No.
But there's a lot of like, so with the Soska sisters, I like to see it, because I mean, I'm just like, holy fuck, like y'all came in, like these broads came in and like whipped their dicks out and put them on the table too. Yeah, like this is yes. and it's when you realize too, like I don't know if you know much about them, but like this was like their first, like this is definitely what popped them off. They had done, I think it was called like Dead Hooker in a Trunk, or Hooker in a Trunk.
Yep, $2,500 budget on that movie.
Yeah, very low budget movie. I've never watched it. I do believe I've seen like a couple of clips from it, so it may be readily available. I don't know, but this film is very slickly made. For again, you're for sure they don't have a massive budget on this one, but yeah, man, those effects are still hold up very well. I mean, there's some haunting fucking shit in this movie, which we'll get into. So I guess maybe before we keep like trying to sell people on it, we'll actually go through it. But yeah, the Soska sisters, they still do some shit.
They actually, got a new one that I have yet to find. When I was reading up on them, they have one called something like On the Edge or some shit like that. It's a 2022 one, but I can't find it. I've been do some more looking, but yeah, they were known for, like I said, they had the Dead Hooker in the Trunk. Then they did this one, American Mary. They also did the one with Kane in it from fucking WWE.
So they did the sequel to See No Evil, which is
that
one. It was See No Evil 2. That was a direct. That one just came out on DVD, and they did like one or two other movies with WWE, like out of nowhere. Like I didn't know. I mean, I don't know the other one. I don't believe it was like supposed to be more like an action movie. So I don't even think it's technically horror. But they did that. They actually used to have a show. I believe it was on Sci-Fi. You could find it, but it was called Hellevator, and it was they had like an elevator thing, and there was these different like scary, like kind of like a haunted house fear factor kind of thing. It was okay. The only other thing I have, I do own this one.
I was about to bring that one up.
Yeah, they remade Rabid, which was originally done by David Cronenberg. It's fine. I'm a big David Cronenberg fan, so like when I avoided it for a while. Even the only reason I gave it a shot was because eventually I was like, okay, well, it's them. I'll give it a shot. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's and stuff like that. It's very well made. It's fine if you can sit there and literally quit thinking about like the David Cronenberg movie and just take it as its own movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just watched that one probably a little over a month ago. I just came across it and decided, checked it out, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, I had no problem with it. But yeah, so these, once again, two badass bitches.
Yes.
And
badass Canadian bitches at that,
Canadian.
man. Like that's even fucking rare. Big,
up there in the
Canadian goth twins.
Yeah.
That direct horror movies, like proof there's a God.
Yeah. Because they definitely go full on with it, because they actually play a part in this movie, American Mary.
And fun fact, their roots to kind of extreme cinema go a little bit deeper. I believe it was the very first one, but they're also featured in, again, it's the Vomit Gore trilogy. I believe they're in Slaughtered Vomit Dolls #1. There's actually a weird scene where they're like conjoined at the head. It's a fucked up scene. Again, and it's funny. I wonder because like when I was looking up like their filmography just to see what they'd been up to lately, I saw they didn't have credits for that on their wiki or their IMDb.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, I'm not sure about IMDb, but on their wiki, and the guy who made that movie, Lucifer Valentine, is I don't know how credible it is. I don't know. I just know he's accused of some really fucked up shit, and he's basically disappeared from filmmaking because of that. So they may want to distance themselves from it for that reason. But yeah, they were also in, I believe it was Slaughtered Vomit Dolls, or it was either the second one, but they were in one of those.
They also played a little part in a sweet ass movie called Josie and the Pussycats.
Really? Wait, like the one they did like way back in the fucking day? How old were they then?
They had to be young, but because they weren't like main characters. They were like they had something to do with that Josie and the Pussycat, because on Wikipedia they actually get credit for Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually Googling that right now.
Yeah, because I think I read about it in the on their, the Wikipedia. Yeah, Josie. Yeah, 2001. They were actors in it.
That's crazy. Do they have images of that? I want to see what they.
Yeah, I didn't. Even...
Oh my god, dude! Like, yeah, they were like extras in the crowd.
Yeah.
They. Yeah, dude, you wouldn't recognize them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just look like teenage girls.
Yeah,
and they may have been at the time. Yeah, you wouldn't even recognize them from that. That's crazy though that they were in there.
Oh yeah. But so back to American Mary after we've explained to you who the Soska sisters are.
Yes.
Badass.
And no, absolutely. And so like the basic gist of this movie is that Mary she's in school to become a surgeon. She's really good. She practices. She's a good student. She's having some financial trouble though.
Like every medical student, I would think.
Absolutely. And in true 2012 fashion, she goes onto a website that is basically mimicking Craigslist.
Yep.
And there's people there's just a bunch of advertisements where it's like $500, $1,000, no sex and all that. And I'm just like, okay. And this movie's set in Seattle. So everybody knows that's, they're weirdos there. So that may make some sense. So she's needing some money, some quick stuff. So she's going to go like give this massage to this club owner. She's basically, I guess, auditioning for it. What was his name? Billy. I like Billy. I liked Billy in this movie, but Billy is a greasy fucker. Like you can just tell the moment you see him that like he's got a lot of fucking baggage and problems.
He does, but he also had that side of him after he meets Mary.
Well, could you fucking blame him if Catherine Isabel walked in my house right now in front of Joe? I'd probably have that immediate change myself.
Yeah,
but Speaking of smoke shows, this is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you are a straight man or a gay girl, you will love this movie's just eye candy from top to bottom.
Oh, it is 100%. Because when she comes walking in, she comes walking in to like interview for this job. He owns a strip club.
Yeah.
She goes up in there, and she has like a resume and everything. Like, who the fuck takes a resume to a strip club? Like,
it's got all of her school shit. Like,
yeah, there's only like 2 things you need in a strip club, and you know, that's about it. So she goes
ass and titties.
Yeah,
ass and titties.
Has the fucking resume to him, and I'm just like, really? You brought a resume, Mary? And then he's kind of like, he basically asked her. He's like, well, you know what? I had to. Here comes the unpleasant part, because she's got like this light trench coat looking thing on, and she knows that she's going to have to show the skin. So when she like takes her, you know, it's funny because when she starts unbuckling, I kind of sit up on the couch. I was like, oh,
yes, I'm like, what's under that trench coat?
What you got on that trench coat, Mary?
Yeah, and, nothing. Like,
and that's when he really gives off that like just dirty dog.
Oh yeah,
because when he makes her kind of like walk around, she's got like this little black lingerie looking thing.
Yeah,
stockings and shit.
She looks great in it, but it's just standard lingerie though.
Yeah, it is. And he kind of like will walk around, and he's like, maybe walk a little more sexy. Then he's like, give me a massage. And I was like, he was checking all the boxes to that just dirty, creepy little.
Yeah, and I feel like it was definitely going to start getting into like hand job, blow job, or sex territory before too long. But then he's interrupted by one of his bodyguards. Yep. There's some kind of an issue and a commotion. Billy tells Mary, like, stay right there, goes out, and then comes back, and it's like, it just immediately goes, how close to being a surgeon are you? Because again, she had the resume, so he saw all the medical school and shit like that, and she was just said, like, I need the fucking money. And it's like, if you do this for me, I'll give you $5,000 cash, no questions asked.
Yep.
And she gets led downstairs, and so was this dude like cut from like chin down? It looked like.
That's what I was wondering too, because when it first shows him, it looks
he's
like
fucked up.
Split, but then it kind of focused on his eyeball being missing.
Yeah, there was an eye out too.
The eye was gone, but I could have swore the same thing you said. It looked like somebody had cut him from like split all the way down his chest, and it doesn't even really go and tell you much. It just shows her go over there and start kind of treating him and messing around with his eye. And
which she does. She doesn't put the trench coat back on. So she's in like 6-inch heels.
Yep.
Like the Soska sisters know what they're doing. Like, you could sit there and maybe think we're being male chauvinist pigs. Oink, oink, motherfucker. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
you had
the Soska sisters know exactly. This is a sexy movie. It's like top to everything. It's got some unpleasant shit in it, but there's just this sexy vibe.
It's unpleasant, but it's all, like you said, it's sexy. Like it's just
a lot of leather and lingerie.
Yeah,
high heels like, where they don't make sense.
Yeah,
like
you wanted to be on Mary's table at one point.
Absolutely. Modify me, please. Like,
please, Mary, do your dirtiest, Mary.
But she does it. She freaks herself out, gets the money, and then like it just immediately cuts to her on her couch holding a baseball bat, like staring at the fucking door, terrified of what was going to happen now that she had done this.
Yeah, because the shit you knew was some under the table shit, like this, some criminal shit. So she just assumed somebody was going to come knocking on the door and haul her ass off because what she did. So she's on the baseball bat, scared to death. And then she gets a fucking knock on the door or a little buzz, because they got them little buzz at the little apartment.
Well, so she gets the phone call first.
Oh, the phone call first.
She just starts getting random phone calls from unknown numbers. And so the other thing we have to focus on too, they do show like her in medical school.
Yeah.
Like her main professor,
Dr. Grant. Dr. Grant.
Grant, what's the other doctor's name?
Walsh.
Is it Ward?
Walsh.
Walsh is the older guy, correct?
Yes, he's the actual like resident doctor type.
Right. Grant's the teacher. Absolute fucking prick.
Oh, dude.
It's weird because like, and I noticed it more this time. It was like the way that he talked to her, like fuck anybody talking to me like that. Like,
Oh yeah,
dude, yeah, no, dude, like, because it's not just like what he said; it's 100% how he said it. Like, he's not meant to be a likable character. And there's a really fucking good reason in the script for why they don't want you to like him.
yeah.
But he's easy not to like. But he's kind of like busting her chops and cussing at her shit. And like while she's worried about, getting some sort of reprisal from doing what she did for Billy and sewing that dude up, she misses a day of class, and then like she starts getting her phone. Well, so Beatrice is Beatrice, right?
Beatrice. Yep.
There we go. She's the one that's calling, and so when she picks it up, it's unknown, and the voice.
Oh, Betty Boot.
Yes, yeah, she's got that voice, and she's asking for what is it, Dr. Mason.
Dr. Mason, and Beatrice is played by Tristan Risk. That's who plays.
Yeah, and doesn't look like her headshot at all.
Oh, not at all.
Which there's a good reason, like, but you can't even fucking tell that's who does it. But yeah, so like she's like being like, "There's no Dr. Mason," and like freaked out by it and shit. Well, then like I guess she works at a restaurant. That motherfucker calls her and is like, "Yo, like we're basically shutting up shop. Like I haven't been paying rent.
Yeah, paid rent. You're out of a job now, bitch."
Yeah, so she's got all this. She's got $5,000 in cash, so that's still a good thing.
Yeah,
but
that's going to kind of get her caught up, I would think.
But she won't take the phone call from Beatrice, and then finally she does get the buzz at the door.
Yeah, she gets the buzz, the little buzzer, and somebody's like, "Hey, I got a delivery for Mary Mason," and she's like, "Okay, come up," and she basically buzzes them in, and then she's kind of walks off to the side.
Yeah, she goes ahead and unlocks the door.
Yeah, unlocks the door. And while she's kind of standing to the side, you see somebody walk past her behind her.
Yeah.
She comes back in there, and you see the damn door open, and she turns and look, and there's fucking Beatrice.
Yeah.
And Beatrice has basically had a whole lot of plastic surgery done.
Oh.
Her face, the only thing that moves is her fucking lips, and they barely move.
Yeah, it's weird too. It's almost like she has a mask. It reminded me almost of like a luchador mask, like those Mexican wrestlers, where like you can only see this part, and all of this is like covered. Like all of this looks completely fake on her.
Yeah, and then I thought it was a mask the first time I watched it. I thought she had a mask on.
Yeah, and same thing with Ruby that we'll talk about later too. Same thing.
Yeah, so when she finally meets Beatrice, and Beatrice is standing there with this. Look, like I said, you could tell by her voice and everything that the little cartoon character Betty Boot is what she's looking for. And she's standing there, in this tight fitting red dress. And I noticed it. I don't know if you did, but like this dress is tight. Like you get the outline, the nipple, everything. But I could have swore to me it looked like she had a clit piercing.
Ooh. Like maybe like a barbell or something.
I don't know. I just know down there in that region, it was something kind of how you would tell if somebody had like a belly ring, but you could see her belly hole because the dress was so tight. But right down below it, there was something there, and I'm going, this beast.
I mean,
do you have
piercing? Yeah, well, I mean, a chick with a face like that'll do all that surgery, like, that's something you get done on your lunch break for someone who's like that.
I want to get the clit pierced real quick. It looks like it just looked like it in that dress, but there was a little outline because that dress was, so fucking tight you could see her pulse through it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, so she's got a proposition, for Mary. And she's just tossing money. Like, I'll give you $200 if you'll just listen to me.
Let me talk.
If you show up tonight, I'll give you $2,000 just to show up. Convincing her about this surgery. Well, now Mary just lost her job, and so Mary's like, okay, I'll show up for the $2,000
at a veteran.
Yes.
Clinic.
So Beatrice knows someone who works in a vet's office and can get them access after hours. So this will be at least way better than it was at Billy, where she did it on probably a ping pong table in the basement of a strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit got infected. Like, there's just no fucking way.
That dude probably, he didn't make it.
Yeah. 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 Well, but, so when she shows up at the vet is where we get introduced to someone who goes by the name of Ruby Real Girl.
Yep.
And she's like trying to look like a doll.
Yeah, because when she first goes in there, Mary's kind of asking Beatrice what's going on. It basically says she's there for skin removal.
Yeah, that's how Beatrice worded it.
Yeah, like she worded like skin removal, and instantly I start thinking like, what is it? Is it like some fucking fat chick that to get some excess shit cut off? Maybe I wasn't sure. And so when she finally, Beatrice basically says, "Oh, she's kind of in there," so she walks around the corner, and you see Ruby from behind, slim lady, once again, tight fitting dress, long hair,
built like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, like a Barbie. And when she turns around, she once again looks like she's got a mask on. Her fucking face is so damn firm.
Dude, that was haunting. Like literally, like where Beatrice, you could see some movement in through like this area. It was only the lips. Only the lips moved. There was no expression like in the upper lip, on the sides right here. None of that. All that shit was like locked into place. And like, then she wanted the final surgery that she needed, which was basically to get her areola, her nipples removed.
Because she asked her, she's like, "What do you see when you look at me?" is what she asked Mary.
Yeah.
And she's basically telling her, like, I do not want to be looked at sexually. I don't want to be sexualized. And
what she said, she was like, people don't sexualize a doll. And I was like, wait. I was like, I don't know about that. I was like, and it's certainly like, I was just like, well, 2024 fucking called. We are literally making bang dolls now, lady. Like, like there's a whole subset of people that are only sexualizing dolls at this point.
Yeah, because when she asked her what she sees, and Mary basically made the comment like a Barbie.
Yeah.
And the reason she goes, why do you think, because she made the comment, she goes, why do you think they're not sexualized? And she's like, because they don't have the
parts.
Dolls doesn't show it. All you see is a little lump where the boobies are and a straight flat where the JJ is. So basically that's what Ruby wants. Ruby wants to look like a Barbie, which means you're going to have the boobs are there.
Yeah.
We're going to slap off them perfect
nipples, areolas. Yeah. All that's gone.
Yeah. And then she basically says that she wants her, lower half done. And it's basically
sew it up as much as she can and remove the skin and all that other stuff. So basically just literally going to leave her like a hole to piss out of.
Yeah, a pissing hole, basically. That's it. And but I will say this about fucking Beatrice though. The money's no object, because as soon as fucking Mary walked in, Beatrice was like, here's your $2,000 for showing up. Here's your $10,000 for the.
I know. I thought that. I was like, I figured there'd be 8. Yeah, I figured there'd be 8. Like you raised it to 12. I was thinking it's gonna be like, I'll go ahead and give you 2 out of the 10 if you just show up. No, this was 2 on top of it. Yeah, the money is, and that's one thing I would have liked to have known. That would have been interesting, because Beatrice, I'm guessing surely that's not the only thing she does, but she strips at Billy's club.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know if you noticed it, I noticed it this time when Mary first goes to visit, Beatrice is on stage stripping.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, when she first goes in to interview with the resume, that is Beatrice who's on the catwalk or whatever, I guess they call that or whatever. But like, yeah, where the fuck is this money coming from? Like Ruby makes sense because she's a fashion designer, like she's independently wealthy. I have no idea. And then at the same time, like she's got the money, but Beatrice was paying for it. It seemed like.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I'm just like, if I'm Beatrice and I'm in good with Ruby and Ruby's throwing this money around like this, then why the fuck am I in Billy's strip club? Because, and I didn't know if it was Beatrice with the money, but I don't think it was Beatrice money. I think she just had a connection with Ruby because, later on Ruby's giving her these gifts and Beatrice is the one delivering the gifts. So Ruby was just, Ruby's money is endless because, like I said, fashion designer. Over this, loaded chick.
I couldn't even imagine how much the surgeries I mean, you're talking, Jesus, tens tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more. Because I mean, who knows how? I mean, just to see someone like that, but Mary obliges.
Oh yeah,
Does
money? Everybody's got a price. People, money talk.
Oh, I promise you, if someone came up to me right now, I would try to cut off their nipples if they asked me to for 10K. Oh, I've got 100%. Kid number 4 on the way, people.
100.
Who can't use $10,000?
Yeah.
I feel like I could definitely cut off nipples and sew them up.
Yeah, because
I'm not going to mess with sewing up vaginas and leaving pee holes. That I know I'm out of my league on. But I feel like I could take some nipples off for 10K and do a pretty okay job.
Yeah, I'm like, I could definitely do it. Yeah.
See, that's the kind of shit you should be asking on job interviews.
Yeah,
like pop quiz.
Could you
for 10K? Would you remove my nipples right now? Do you think you could do it? Go.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I could do that one, but she does it, and this is kind of when you're getting the first taste of.
But did you have a part of you that felt kind of bad when it started? Because once she started the surgery, we get a nice close up of these boobies. These are very nice.
Oh yeah, you can tell, and it shows too that like it shows some scarring that looks like around the rib area on Ruby, and then you do see the implant scar, where she's clearly she's like I said, she's going for the Barbie doll kind of look. Obviously, they probably couldn't say the name, but yeah, like she's had her boobs size increased, but now wants the nipple taken off, and.
Bye-bye, pretty nipples. Bye-bye, pretty nipples.
Yeah, but I mean, it shows it. It looks well while it's doing it.
Yeah.
Now, the weird thing, when she was between girls' legs
and
was working down there, what the fuck did she keep taking off of this girl? Were we having a lip removal and stuff?
Yeah. I think when she said take the bits off, that's what she meant, was like the lips and everything around the side.
Got it.
When it first shows it, you see her kind of pull her hand away, and there's some dangling meat on it.
Okay, now we've established that's what it is. Second question: did it seem like there was a lot of it to you?
It was. There was a a whole lot of meat curtain. There was a lot of meat curtain on Ruby.
That's what I was sitting there. I was sitting there. I was like, is she fucking sewing her up, or is she over there eating an open-faced roast beef sandwich?
Yeah.
What the fuck's happening over here? Because she pulled out
a long
pieces of skin 3 times. 2 of them she put over, and then one dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
And I was just like, woman,
Ruby had Ruby had some sweet meat down there.
Bro, I was sitting there just being like, I think you should have just got some removal done on that. Maybe you were self-conscious about it, and you just needed to have someone trim it back a little bit.
There's no need to even trim. But what she did is she just gave up all her pleasure. Because all that fucking people want to hate on the fucking meat curtain sweet meat down there. Do your research, people. This is a little.
They got nerve endings and shit.
Yeah, that is a very, very sensitive area on a lady. So those people be like, "Oh, look at the meat curtains." Hey, those bad boys do half the work for you, fellas, ladies. All the little sensitivity. I do research, man. I don't do research on a lot of things, but when it comes to
I can just see that popping up in your mind, and you're like, I wonder if there is a use for meat curtains.
Yeah,
Siri.
There is. Everybody,
Siri, are there any nerve endings?
You see all the posts all the time, Arby's sandwiches, talking shit about it. But do your research, people. There's a whole lot of nerve endings in them bad boys.
I think people associate it with maybe they've just kind of are blown out.
Yeah,
but I doubt it has anything to do with that. I imagine it's probably some sort of thing that's a little bit of genetic.
Yeah.
Maybe even your ethnicity build up and shit. I don't know. Anyway, but I did particularly think, for someone who was clearly white, Scandinavian, and the way that she was built, it looked like a lot of shit was getting moved off from down there. But I don't know what all would have to be removed for that to succeed.
Yeah,
but Mary did it, and so then after all this, so she's got the money, she's back in or did she? No, she didn't go back to school. The fucking asshole called her and blessed her out for missing.
Yep.
And so then she goes, it shows her, she's in the hospital doing residency. This is where, what was the other doctor's name? Walsh.
I think it was Walsh.
Yeah. So they're there, they're kind of talking and stuff like that. dude, how cold-blooded was that moment?
I was about to bring that up.
All right, I'll let you talk. I'll let you bring that up, man, because that was just fucking. I forgot all about that when I rewatched it this time. But I was like, holy shit! Like I remember that was fucked up. Like what a fucking asshole.
Yeah, Mary is doing her little residency, and it's her and some other students, and Dr. Walsh. Somebody comes there and whispers something to him.
Yeah,
and another doctor does, and he looks at Mary, and he was like, "I need you to go out there and tell that family who was sitting right behind them. You could see them. I need you to go out there and tell them that her husband just had a heart attack."
Yeah, and it's the wife and both of the kids.
Yeah, wife and kids. Mary walks out there. She's out there for like not even 10 seconds. You can tell Mary rolled out there and said, "Your husband just had a heart attack," and turned around and walked right back in pretty much. And I was just like, I said, damn, Mary just straight cold. Just went out there like no feelings. Like she wasn't gonna be one of those that went out there and was like, I'm trying to be comfortable at all. She was just out there like, your husband had a heart attack. And you tell she walked back in. And then all of a sudden the doctor keeps talking. Then he looks at Mary again. He's like, I need you to go there.
She's back in there less than 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was quick.
Like, yeah.
She was like, heart attack, back in there with the rest of the class. And then the doctor's like, I need you to go out there and tell him that her husband's dead.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of like this look of like, okay. And like, Mary didn't give 2 fucks. She's going to go out there and be like, he's dead. I told you 10 seconds ago he had a heart attack, but now I'm telling you, I could have done it all at once, but I wanted I wanted it to build up.
Absolutely.
I wanted to see your souls crushed twice.
Well, that's what I wondered because from the time he tells her to go tell the family that the father had a heart attack, nobody else talks to him again.
No,
like how someone came up and told him that originally. Nobody comes up again and updates that status to that, meaning he knew the whole time that this guy, I don't even know if he had a heart attack. We know for sure he was told that this guy has died. Yeah. So it's still kind of up in the air. Like, did the teacher make you do that twice, basically? Or was it one of those where it was like, hey, he suffered a massive heart attack and he's died, and he's like, he himself decided, like, let's do it in 2 phases and really fuck with this student. Because it's terrible, because the family got brought into that experiment and they got extra, like, double hurt for no reason.
And then a part of me also, after that happens, there's a part where Mary goes on a break. She bumps into Beatrice. Beatrice gives her a gift from Ruby. Well, and then when she goes back in from her break, this is the part where I realized that Dr. Walsh is just cold, because when him and Mary are walking back through the hospital, he asks her, like, did you enjoy your break and shit? And he's talking to her, and he's like basically telling her like how he, like, you're going to be a great slasher.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's making what we call
surgeons.
Yeah. And he was just like, there's such a, you don't understand the adrenaline rush when you cut into human flesh. And I was like, you just a sick motherfucker. And so that made sense to me with him playing that game of just being like, tell me he had a heart attack. And then a couple minutes later, go tell him he's dead. Like, bitch, you knew he was dead. Right?
Yeah. Nobody came and updated you so that you could update me so I could update them.
It was a learning experience. So I get, it was like,
and it was so then he's the one that invites her to a party. It's a surgeon mixer
at Grant's house.
At Dr. Grant's house. Dr. Grant was actually the one who wanted to invite her, but he had Dr. Walsh. Dr. Walsh was like, he told me to ask you. It was his idea to invite you, and I'll be there at 10 and all that other stuff. And so she goes to this party,
and you knew exactly where this was going in this moment.
It's one of those where it's I'll be really fair. Because I've seen this so many times. To be fair, I was far more critical when I was watching it this time, because like as soon as I started watching it, I was remembering everything again. Yep. And so that was one of the things where it's just like, she's even beforehand, especially like when you see that scene of her telling the family the husband's had the heart attack and then going right back out there like 30 seconds later and being like, oh, he's actually dead, that she does have a callousness about her. You can even see like she was needing some money, and she just fucking was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go do this on fucking Craigslist and shit like that. So she does have that capability to be a little more ruthless and stuff like that. And so how she got tricked into going to this fucking party with this fucking skis ball, who like asking her, and it was very apparent after like the first time you see her at this party, you're just like, this is not the kind of party you should be coming to alone.
Yeah, because as soon as she walks into the party, and she's got on the little sexy dress that Ruby has given her, and she's dressed to the nines, people.
Yeah. Oh,
she
yeah.
Up in there. And as soon as she comes in the door, off to the side is a chick in her bra and panties getting led into a room by two other dudes. I was like, Mary, are you not seeing this? And then she breaks one of the number one rules when the little dude comes up with a drink. He was like, and she just
takes a drink.
Like, damn it, Mary, you don't know none of these motherfuckers. You just rolled up into this random apartment, and now you drinking drinks that this dude just comes up and hands you.
Yeah.
And in my mind, my wheels are turning. This is not going to go well, buddy.
No, and it does not.
No.
And as you could probably gather, Mary gets drugged.
Yes.
And Mary gets well, we don't make any money here, so we can say it. Mary gets raped by Dr. Grant, her teacher. And it is not, it's not, I mean, it's not like, you know, there's way worse rape scenes. Again, I those are the scenes I dislike the most, but it was crazy because he's like filming it and like he's being rough, like he's like choking and shit like
hands
that.
down her throat kind of shit, you know, because whatever book he gave her has got her like almost like she can't move, like she's awake and everything, but she can't move. And but before he takes her in there to do this, did you notice the part when they were walking down the hallway where the lady's laying on the bar and the other doctors are around her jacking off?
I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, whenever he takes her down the little hallway, at the bar, there's a lady laying there, and the doctors are all sitting around. You see, they're jacking off to her laying on the bar.
Oh no, I don't think I've ever caught that. To be quite honest, I think I was just always focusing on them. I know the scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
but now I gotta get. Now I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to pop this Blu-ray back in because I want to. That's fucked up. That's some Shining or some Eyes Wide Shut shit going on over there.
Yeah, because when I seen it, I was like, were they jacking off? And once again, people, we own the actual copy. On the Blu-ray, there's a little part called special, you know, the special stuff, a little bonus stuff. There's a part in there about the making of it. And when I watched it, I was like, and them motherfuckers jacking off this bitch on the bar. And in the making of it, there is a part where you see our two badass bitches are breaking down that scene. And that's exactly what she wanted them to be doing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But she's actually, in the making of it, she's sitting there, she's like, don't be making it obvious like this. Just be like, you know. And
so because like I said, I know the scene you're talking about. I did not put that together on that. So fuck. Yeah. Like I said, that was one of the things where I feel like that scene, for it to work, fuck it, I'll get critical later, but we move on. I'm gonna come back to that scene. I just feel like that scene would have worked better if it seemed like Mary was more naive and more hopeless. Like if this shit had happened to her, because this happens, and like very quickly after this happens, she drops out of medical school, and then shit really turns up a notch. We'll get to that in just 1 second.
Next day.
Yes, it does. It's very, very, and so, but like if that had happened to her, she was forced out of medical school and then went to go look for doing, you know, sensual massage and shit like that, and mentioned that, I feel like it would have worked out more. It didn't make sense for the Mary we had already seen, who had already sewn up somebody who was slit open in the basement of a strip club for $5,000 in lingerie and heels. Yeah, it just was such a stretch for her to fall for that.
Yeah,
and not be more aware.
It made her, that scene in the apartment made her almost look like desperate. Like you were desperate for, you wanted to be accepted. You wanted them to like you. Where nothing at this point, but even in the beginning though, whenever you first get her with her class, her teacher, Mr. Grant,
Right.
he's trying super hard to impress him though, because when he's talking to her, she's just kind of like, I sewed up a turkey. Oh, I did this. And so she was trying super hard to impress this guy. And so that kind of made sense to me the way she was being in the apartment, because I remember she was in the beginning with Dr. Grant trying to be like, kiss his ass, get on his good side, because he talked so much shit to her. Like he cussed at her and shit. And it's like she wanted so much, like, I need this guy to be okay with me. And so
that's a fair point. That's a fair point then. So I could give it that. But yeah, dude, next day she's out of class or out of school, and she's called in a motherfucking favor.
Yep.
With her newfound friends, Billy and Lance. Lance, the fucking, like, looks like a pro wrestler fucking bodyguard and like head of like Billy's right hand guy.
He reminded me of that singer from fucking Motorhead.
Yeah, he does. He does look like some fucking Lemmy. He's a big burly fucker. They bring in fucking Dr. Grant.
Oh yeah.
And
that happened fast. I thought it was gonna be like a few days later. This is like
if it was supposed to be more time passing, did not give me that impression at all either. So I'm right there with you.
She told him, because when she went in there, when they finally took her downstairs to where Grant was, when she kneeled down and started talking to him, she was just like, and she told him, she was like, dropped out of med school today. But you probably know that because of, and she even said it like last night. She said, you thought I was a stripper. You thought that's what, a prostitute. You thought
that's what I was.
Yeah. And so this was literally like, she got home, because when she left there, it was so, she woke up next to him.
Yeah.
Still.
It was like the next morning, wasn't it?
Yeah. The next morning she woke up. He's asleep, just sleeping just fine. She's still in her dress, laying on the bed next to him. She wakes up, don't say shit to him. She just gets on the elevator and leaves and goes home, throws some furniture around. And then I guess she made that phone call to Billy.
Sends Billy and Lance to go get him, bro.
Yeah, like that Mary just flipped the switch.
Yeah, and so, dude, that's and again, that kind of leads to the whole thing. I get the perspective of like she was trying to impress them, but yeah, that whole thing is done. Yeah. And like the any semblance of being naive, of wanting to impress anybody, dude, Mary goes fucking cold. And the speech she gives him, letting him know all the stuff that's about to happen, she's basically letting him know that he is going to be her surgical test dummy, because she has this opportunity, obviously, because like Ruby, when she got done, or Beatrice, when she got done operating on Ruby, Beatrice was like, she's going to want a name, because she is, there's all these websites and blogs how these people connect with surgeons who are willing to do this stuff. And that's when Mary's just like, I make something up, just don't use my real name and shit like that. So she's starting to get like, knowing that she could make some fucking money. But now she's like, okay, well, I kind of, like a tattoo artist, any artist, you got to have a catalog. You got to have examples. So she's going to use him. And bro, when she broke it down, like listing the top 6 most like frequently requested extreme body modifications, to let that motherfucker know everything that was about to happen to him. And he's in those like Marilyn Manson, The Beautiful People music video, those fucking like mouth forceps things. Yeah. And he's all fucking tied down. And while she's doing it, she's putting like numbing shots into his fucking jaws. Yeah. That was a cold ass scene.
It was, because there's no part where there's a part of her that's just so fucking angry, but at no point does she like raise her voice. She's talking to him calm, and she's like basically like, I've decided to go in a new direction, and of going into body modifications, and she's like gives him the list of shit she's going to basically test, because she basically uses his same lines against him, where he basically like, we can't make mistakes. We have to be perfect, and practice makes perfect. And she's basically going to use him to practice these body modifications on. And she tells him like, he's hearing all this. And she's like,
oh yeah,
I'm going to do some tongue splitting. We're going to grind your teeth, some genital manipulations. And
that voluntary amputation,
amputation shit, and this,
and then like the 3D stuff that they'll put up under the skin, like And the best part is when she lets him know that she thinks it's going to take about 14 hours because she wants to do it all in one shot.
Yep.
And so like that, right, and that's how it ends the scene, and I was like, fuck, she's going to put him through 14 hours. Of this shit, and
then be done with him and just throw him away. That's that's where I was at. Like, and then because when it ends, like she's telling him all this, and she kind of gets ready to start. But then basically we're back in her apartment now, and now at this point she's kind of working from her apartment. Yeah, like she's kind of set up a little working area in there because she's got somebody that she's had done the tongue split on. Mm-hmm. So she's got some people coming to the apartment for this shit now. So this is, it doesn't tell you how long after the whole Dr. Brent thing, but it's got to be down the road because now she's got some clientele coming by the with she's got their dude, motorhead dude that's with her all the time. He's basically her bouncer for her.
I'm going to imagine Billy's probably getting some kind of a little cut off the top of it. I know you can tell Billy's sweet on her because she keeps going back to the strip club. And like, Billy helps her out, stuff like that. And it's very obvious he's insanely like, he's just falling head over heels for her. He is not wrong to have done so.
No, we're not mad at you, Billy.
No, I get it. I completely get it. But yeah, so like that's going on. And then that's when it's around this time in the movie where she gets contacted by the actual characters that the Soska sisters play, and they're like some of the big, most well-known people in the body mod community. They run like the biggest website all about it, and they want her to do some shit to them.
Yep. They had a web page. That's how she came across their web page, was that asterisk.me or something like that.
Yeah.
On Ruby's page, she clicked on it, took it to that page, and these two girls basically ran that thing. And so before it gets to that part, there's a part that I want to bring up to you. Because at this point she's now working in her apartment. A detective now has approached her, and he's basically like, hey, I'm investigating the Dr. Grant is missing, and she's like, I haven't seen him. And he was like, well, Dr. Walsh gave me a list of female names, and your name was kind of like, why would your name be on here? And she kind of, and he kind of goes his own way. But then it gets to the part where we're back in the strip club, and we get dirty old Billy sitting there in the booth just watching the stage. And at this point when it starts, because I think it was Beatrice that's on the stage dancing, and he's watching her, and he just zoned in on her. But the next thing you know, we got fucking Mary on the stage dancing.
Yeah, he's daydreaming.
Oh yeah, he's daydreaming hard.
And boy, big ups to Catherine Isabel, because man, she was absolutely stunning, because it's not a short scene, and she does her dance and everything like that for Billy. And then I was sitting there I was like, this is obviously fucking fake, but this guy's got a really good imagination going right now, dude.
Yeah, because she picked up the little glass of like the make-believe blood, and she like pours it down herself, and he is like zoned in on it. And when it starts, I'm thinking to myself, like, this fool must be daydreaming. And he was, because she walks up and he kind of snaps out of it, But Billy was falling hard for Mary, because you can tell there's a part of Billy that is scared to death of Mary.
And when Beatrice says something along that lines of like that, all the guys at the club are scared of her.
Yeah.
And she's like, really? She's like, yeah. She's like, and I mean, dude, you got to think of that's, I mean, there's people who could murder someone that would still look at this kind of like voluntary mutilation, really,
Yeah.
and would be like, dude, you're fucking sick.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I kill somebody, like I shoot them or, you know, something like that. But like, you're over there dissecting motherfuckers and altering them and shit. Like,
Yeah.
that's a whole other level of cold, man. Like, you got to be really, really about that shit. But yeah, so then the Soskas show up and like, I can't remember if it says what country they're from. They're from Canada, like in real life.
Yeah,
but
in real life. But they always had like a German type.
Yeah, it was definitely some kind of European shit.
Yeah. They come into the club, they pull up in this nice ass fucking car. And they get out to go into the strip club. And they're like holding hands. And when it gives you a shot from behind, and you get the shot of where they have had that, where they implant those rings in their backs and then run the ribbon through it.
Yeah, almost looks like they like a tourniquet or not
I don't know what they call
it.
It
is. It's kind of like the bustle, whatever with those shits, like the
yeah.
You know, they restrict women, they would draw your waistline in and shit like that. And it had the lacing in the back. And I've seen that stuff, you know, before and stuff. But yeah, dude, it looked great on them. It looked fantastic on them.
They sold it very well. And
yes, I don't know how they would sleep on their backs, but
I don't know. So many questions when I see this.
Yes,
so many questions.
Yeah.
And it was funny when they walk into the strip club, one of those sisters walks up to the stage and you got Mohawk girl on there doing her dance. And she goes,
and I believe, wasn't that the girl that was in Mary's house earlier with the split tongue?
Was it?
I can't remember. I remember thinking I like at the time, like, was it? And I never rewound back to check. But yeah, regardless, I didn't know if I was right in thinking that or not. But yes, so they start fucking grabs this broad. Yeah,
they just start making out, and I thought maybe is this your girlfriend or whatever? I don't know. But the next thing you know, old Mohawk girl screams and jumps back. Our crazy girl here literally just like bit her fucking tongue.
Yeah.
And just kind of like
there's blood, like the Soska that did it, she's got blood.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and then
these people don't know these people in the club, like that, like they're not a part of this. They're from another country. They're there solely to see Mary. They don't know Billy.
Yeah,
none of that, because Beatrice was like, "Hey, I bet Billy would let you use his office." Since obviously this was a big opportunity, big clientele. Billy does have like a big upstairs office. It was, you know, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only reason they're there is to meet Mary. They have no, so like, yeah, they just walk up in that place and basically just raise their leg and take a piss on it and fucking own it real quick and injure one of the strippers in the process.
Yeah. When they go up there to meet with Mary, they come in there and, you know, when they sit down, and then I understood exactly why she bit the bitch's tongue off, because they have their teeth ground to like,
they have they filed all of them into fangs.
They look like all the teeth. Vampires, what they look like, you know. And they come and sit down and they're talking to Mary, and they're like, we're connected. We want to always be connected, you know, even after we pass on, we want to be connected always. Right. And so their plan is they want Mary to basically do some work on them, modification shit. Where and then they're like, we want you to swap our left arms.
Yeah.
Like, I want her left arm. You're going to give her my left arm.
Yeah.
And this is in my mind, I'm going, that's a pretty massive thing to do. Like,
yeah, I would think that's
got to take some like nerves. That's some detailed shit. But the cool part with me, when they said that, they were just kind of like, they thought that Mary was maybe be overwhelmed by this, but Mary just kind of, well, what about Friday? Like, it's so easy. Like, it was just like
they fucking show all their teeth and their smile, and I'm just like, this is creepy and hot. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
and so they
got one of those fear erections going on, as the kids call them.
Fear erection.
Yes,
like you're getting hard and you don't know, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, I did not know I was into this, and now I know I'm into that. Now I got to live with that the rest of my life. But then so she does. she does that surgery, and then they were also talking about they wanted some stuff done to him, and they slid her a picture, and then she's putting some stuff in. It kind of makes them look like demon creatures and stuff with like the 3D silicone implants and shit like that. But yeah, she swaps the arms.
Yeah,
and then shit blows up for her.
But the coolest part about that whole scene that really just made it pop for me, when she gets them both in there, they're both laying there on their little gurney thing, and this is all taking place in her new place because Mary has moved on up. Mary has moved out of the shithole apartment. Mary has a nice studio place where she's got this area to no, she has not upgraded yet.
No, that's after this surgery is when she gets to be able to do that.
Yeah, she does the surgery in her fucking shitty ass apartment.
Yep, she takes care of it because then she was like, well, I got to operate them on both of them at the same time, and need an assistant. I remember like she was like, do you know anybody good? And he was like, no, but I know someone shitty that owes me a favor or something along those lines. And it's this fucking German doctor, who seems out of his fucking mind. But they get the surgery done, and then she's out of the fucking shitty apartment. Big nice
part with the surgery. It is I liked it how everything looked, and then they had Mary there with the red doctor outfit on, and that thing just looked. It was like she's been in black the whole time. She had like her underwear on with like this black little apron, black gloves. Now she's here with this just red, everything just red. It stands out so much, and then it just looks so fucking cool because Mary is just as chill as she can be, you know. And you said they're putting them horns in and shit on her foreheads. And then did you see the part where Mary had the piece of paper had blood on it that they had given her of what the blueprint was?
Right.
She dropped it on the table, and did you see what they wanted to look like?
Yeah, it was like this kind of like demon gargoyle looking thing. And so because that at first I kept being like, I was like, all right, well, what was the special thing?
Yeah,
I think you see that her putting the implants in while she's doing that, and that was the thing to kind of give them a more like demon looking structure and all that. And so she upgrades, she's got the new facility and everything like that. And then you find out that Mary still has something else. She's in a new place, but she still has something else. And bro, she still has fucking. When you go back in there, because now she's got the reputation, right? Like clearly she got a big fucking payday from these broads. You figure she made what, $12,000 off of the shit for Ruby. She's dealing with two people. She probably easily cleared somewhere between probably like 25 to 30K for that for doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's fucking cash. So
and plus those two girls were going to basically set her up a website and everything.
Right. And that's what they were telling her, because then like they were going to help her with getting all that stuff set up so that she could do that. And so that leads to the fact that she needs to have some more pictures to put up on the website. And we find that Dr. Grant is still alive. He's on premises. It's like part of her house has like a wall almost that opens up.
No, that's not where that's not where Grant is.
He's in the storage.
Yeah, he's like in the storage.
There we go. There we go. There, you're right. But dude, like, and again, I knew what was coming this time. Do you remember the first time you fucking saw that dude hung up?
Oh yeah.
All four of his limbs are gone. He's just had so much shit to him. His mouth is sewn up.
Yeah, and then fucking hooks in the back.
Oh, dude, that's what he's suspended by. He's just dangling there.
Yep. And still alive,
dude. And so she's sitting there being like, "Oh, I gotta take pictures and stuff for the website and all this other shit." And out of fucking nowhere, a security guard for the did I miss something? How did this fucker just show up? Did she leave a door open or?
Yeah, I think she did, because she pulls her car up outside the storage building.
Right.
And she gets out of the car. It's these big sliding doors, and she slides the door open. Right. And then she flips the lights on. So here it is at nighttime, this security guard making rounds, and now he sees a car sitting out there with these lights on, and that had to be what kind of drew him in there.
Yeah, just coming to check.
Yeah, and the crazy part is he didn't even give a warning.
No.
He just rolls up
No.
in that bitch and knocks the shit out of fucking Mary.
Yeah, dude was sitting there trying his best to help him. He gets Grant off the hooks and everything like that. And then Mary comes up out of nowhere with a scalpel and like stabs him right in the fucking thigh.
Yep.
And he goes down. And I'm guessing it was one of those like big bone saw cleaver things that she was hitting this man with.
No, I think she grabbed his flashlight, I think.
Was that what it was? Okay.
I think it was his, because security guards, they don't get
the mag lights.
Flashlight. They got the big mag light, the big metal one. And I think that's what she grabbed.
Yeah, so now we finally Mary murders this dude. Like fucking, it doesn't show it. You just see the blood, but like she canoed his fucking head in. Yeah. Like
it wasn't
this
just
dude's nothing.
Couple pops. She literally just mushed his head. Like it
was She kept swinging. She was working through some like past trauma while she was murdering that dude. That dude was getting hits for shit he didn't even do.
Yeah,
that other people did to her.
He did a lot of a mental healing. This old boy's head in, cause
exactly.
And then it was funny to me when she got up and kind of like turned to look for fucking Grant, and somehow he has managed to worm his way.
Yeah, he
kind of giggles almost.
Got to give him props on that.
Yeah,
got to give him props on that. He got farther than I probably would have with literally just being stumps.
Yeah, that's all he had, and he has literally just wormed his way, over some. And I'm sitting there going like, he made pretty good distance in that amount of time.
Yep. And then she just comes over and doesn't she like give him a shot?
Yeah, I
something
like
knock him back out.
You got to put him back on the hooks, man.
Yeah. So around this time, and I may be off on the timeline, but so she's having the success and stuff like that. The detective is showing back up because now Dr. Walsh is missing.
Yep.
Well, Mary, when she goes in, is one of the times that is talking to Billy, is letting him know that the detective came by and that Walsh said he was on the list. And he's like, is there a problem? She's like, no. Well, Billy takes it upon himself to fucking white knight and go take care of Dr. Walsh for her. And then that's when you find, because the one of the final times the detective comes by is when he then lets Mary know that he's found the tapes.
Yeah.
Where they were recording shit with these girls. And then that's when she's like, did you find a tape with me? And he was like, no. So she knew right then. She remembered, like I said, she was kind of just paralyzed, but knew what the fuck had happened to her.
Yeah.
Knew there was a tape, because then she later confronts Billy and finds out that, Billy did have something to do with it. And that's when she was like, did you see the tape? Yep. And there is a scene where Billy, it shows that he did see the tape, and that's why he fucking went off on Dr. Walsh, did not fucking hold back.
No, just pretty much he killed Walsh, because it shows at one part he's like beating his ass down the stairs, throws him down the stairs, he's got a bag over his head, beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, he basically beat Dr. Walsh to death. And again, that's I don't know what Billy's original plan was, maybe to just apply some pressure to him. But when he found that fucking video and saw what they did to his Mary, he was not a fan of that. But so while this is all going on, as we get ready to like wrap up the movie, we come back to Ruby.
Oh yeah.
And it's Ruby. She's in a room, and this guy comes in. It's a guy from the picture it's her husband. Mary and Beatrice earlier had went to like Ruby's place for a gift that Ruby had left for Mary. And she saw the picture. She's like, oh, I didn't know she had a boyfriend. And Beatrice is like, she has several, but that one's her husband.
Yeah.
And so he shows up to see her. She turns around, they kiss. So he's aware of all of this. However, he is not aware of what she just had done. So she opens up this real sexy fucking robe she's got on. And apparently this motherfucker lost his fucking mind.
Yeah, apparently Ruby has some very nice titties and some very good pussy, because this pushes old boy over the fucking edge.
Yeah, I mean, to an extreme. So like at this point, once
but it
this
does
happens,
show us the first time, like they give us a view
Yes, you haven't seen it up until now.
Yeah, they give us
You
the
saw
shot.
him at the surgery, but
Yeah.
it looks like a fucking doll, man.
It
And
does,
that thing,
just like a fucking Barbie. Like
that thing down there is nothing.
no, it's literally whatever she left her was just enough to pee out of.
Yeah,
So,
Mary did exactly what she was asked to do.
Yeah, it's just like a Barbie doll, and you can tell when her husband looked at the look on his face, like like Mary must have had kryptonite in that. I mean, not Mary, but Ruby must have had kryptonite in that pussy because this dude lost it just because he knew he's no longer going to get to play with them boobies and be in that pussy.
Lost. Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, there's other girls. Like I don't even know why you're here. Like, this girl is clearly a fucking freak.
Yeah.
Like, unless that's your kink, like maybe you're like, I didn't know that I was into living dolls, and now I do. But you didn't have to kill anybody. You just had to wait 12 years, and then we were going to give you sex dolls. We have them now. You could have been okay, but you
could have ordered it.
Yeah, no. So fucker kills Ruby.
Yep.
And so Mary is she's learns about all the stuff with Walsh. Her and Billy talk a few more times, and she's goes home, phone's ringing, and it's Beatrice, and she's like crying, clearly in some stress. And fucking Ruby's husband knows Beatrice, obviously they're friends, found her and like fucking went like shell on Beatrice to find out the name of the doctor who had done that to her.
Yeah, beat the fucking, because leading up to that, Mary also got a phone call because her nana, and throughout the movie, she's on the phone with her nana talking to her. And she gets a phone call. Basically, her nana has passed away.
Yeah.
So now Mary is in an even darker place than where she was at before. Because now this one person who she had to talk to and everything is now gone. And now this fucking detective is getting more into her business. And like you said, she gets that phone call from fucking Beatrice, and it shows Beatrice. It shows off of her, dude. And
it doesn't show anything that happened to her. You're just seeing the aftermath. She's like laying in the floor, but like, bro, her face is all swelled up. And then she was sitting there talking about how, I tried to resist, but then he started to burn me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and like, so like, then like, right when she hangs up the phone, fucking guy comes up behind her and fucking knife into the gut, Mary's gut.
Yep.
And you see him, he starts like yanking it upwards.
Yeah, he's like pulling it. Yeah.
And so
Mary has some fight in her, though. She has some fight in her.
She spins out of it. And so did you see what she did to him to kill him?
No, because I was about to ask the same thing. Because when they both hit the floor, what went through my mind? When he hit her with a knife, she's all over him. They're wrestling or fighting. Next thing you know, they both hit the floor. She kind of rolls off onto her back. He rolls over to his side. And at first, I thought these two are in it together. Like, these two are together. Because she had this little flashback of her picking up that picture. And when just told her that. And so when she had this weird flashback, I'm like, are these two in on something together? Is what's going on? But no, I have no clue how she killed him.
The only thing I can figure is that it was intended, because you see her kind of move his hand where the knife went in. And I guess it's assumed that she got the knife from him and stabbed him. We'll get into that more, but that's, so she stabbed, he stabbed. She kind of drags her way into like her where she has like her medical supplies and stuff, and is like sewing herself up. Fucking badass, looking fucking still looking beautiful.
Yeah.
And fucking sewing herself up. The cops are outside. The detective gets there. They finally see like all the pictures she had of Grant and all this other stuff. There's Ruby's dead husband. And you see that Mary has also died. It shows basically that she had bled out. She couldn't stop the bleeding in time. And that's the end of the movie. So I think we got to get right into rating it. Because again, it's all right. Who do you want? Let's get your rating first. Fuck it, marry it, or kill it.
I'm marrying it.
Okay. It is a Mary for me as well. I know, ironic American Mary.
Yeah, we married.
I still fucking love this movie. Love this movie. But because I've seen it so many times, I was far more critical, just noticing shit this time.
Oh yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, that ending scene is and it sucks. The ending scene sucks, but most of the time, a lot of horror movies will blow the fucking ending.
Yeah.
This one doesn't blow the ending, but the way it is shot and edited and cut blows it. How hard would it have been to have put a scene of her pulling the knife out of her own gut with his arm, a scene of her getting the knife, showing it go in? I don't think it would have been hard to fix that scene, but I did. And so there's a scene when the detective is walking through the house right at the end, and he sees the dead body and you see him on his side. I looked then, the blood was so all over the floor, I couldn't even tell where the wound was then. There was some shit behind his head and other stuff like that. So again, I'm not trying to knock it or anything like that. I couldn't have made a movie this good.
Oh, maybe.
But that was one of the things that I was just like, I don't think I ever realized before that you don't really see it happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even really give you the suggestion that she pulled the knife out of her own gut, managed to get it out of his hands, and then stab him. And I was just like, you could have just put in a couple of extra cuts of like the knife getting taken out of his hand, and then like her like stabbing him frantically or something. And so again, you know, I'm sure even they're probably watch it now like, fuck, we botched that ending. Like, we did not shoot that well. Yeah. But
that part was the same with me. When they fail, it never let me really know what the fuck did she do to him. Like, you know, because the way he rolled over, it wasn't like she cut his throat or anything. Because when they fall on the ground, he just kind of lays there for a second, and then he rolls over into the fetal position.
It's almost like how someone would do if they had been fighting for a while and they were like both exhausted, like nobody had won the fight. So they're both like, it was that kind of like laying in the floor kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was another one too, because like it wouldn't make much sense. This guy is not a small dude. No. He's a well-built big boy. It's not going to be easy now, at least in the movie. And again, she's wearing heels a lot, but Catherine Isabel, height-wise, is about the same, but she's nowhere near his weight. So like, I felt like it was one of those, like, you maybe could have fucking, if you would have extended it a little bit longer, had them struggling more, maybe Mary breaks away from him and grabs another knife and gets him, it would also play more into her bleeding out, because there's more time in the movie where she has that gut wound and it's not being tended to, versus the really slow dragging herself over to it, which again, you know, when she's dragging herself over, doesn't make sense because she has all the adrenaline to, I mean, she's fucking sewing herself up and not flinching. All the adrenaline going. I don't think she'd have to drag herself over there. It was a stab to the gut. She's in a lot of pain, but nothing happened to her legs.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where, like I said, it's not that it's a bad ending, in my opinion. It just wasn't shot well. And I couldn't let that slide because I don't know if I've ever noticed it really before. And I love this movie so fucking much and would still recommend it to so many people. I had so much fun watching it again.
Yeah.
It's got its own vibe. It does have a very,
it's sexy.
It's a sexy movie. It really is. It's got that feel to it, and it's on purpose. It's right in your face. Every bit of this is played for like sexuality and sexiness and all this other stuff. And like I said, I highly recommend it, but that's always my biggest complaint with horror movies. Like, please don't fuck up the ending. And I don't think this fucks the ending up, but the way that it was shot, cut, edited, whatever you want to call it, it does fuck it up for me on that. So everybody be warned. It's an okay ending, but it's not satisfying, especially with how good this movie is.
Yeah. I was happy. You know, the ending part, I didn't know how she died or how he died. I wanted the kind of more of a clear shot of that. But what I did like, because what I didn't want, I remember even the first time I watched it, and then again I watched it earlier today before we recorded. You know, even I knew at the ending, I did not want her to survive.
No,
I wanted her. I didn't want the police officer to get there, and then he looks in the room, and you see the blood on the floor, and she's gone, and then it just ends. I didn't want that. I like the fact that they ended it with she's dead. You know, no sitting around at the ending going, well, did she fucking get out of there and go hook up with Billy and they ran off to LA together?
Yeah.
You know, and so I was glad because that's what I thought where it was going. I remember watching it the first time. I was like, oh, she's going to survive this, and her and Billy are going to go off in LA and start this whole thing down there.
Yeah.
And so I like the fact that they killed her and that she
Which would make sense because horror, you always want to set yourself up for a sequel.
Yeah.
This one does not. Yeah, Mary's dead. She's plainly dead. And yeah, I mean, I always, those are usually going to be the outcome in a real life situation like this. So I always like that. I think I'm down when someone's got the nerve to kill off their main character in the first movie and not back down from it. Yep. Because I got to tell you, like when watching this, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I wish that they had been able to like, and again, this is back in 2012. So everybody has to remember that that's 12 years ago now. You didn't have all the streaming options you have now. It's like if this would have came out now, like I think it would be great as either like a limited series or something. I would have liked to have had more time with Mary getting adjusted to this lifestyle, getting adjusted to the people she's now surrounded by. And I think like a little 8-episode like mini series on this kind of thing, even done the same way, just to it's a very interesting world and a very interesting environment and everything like that. And I would have loved to have spent more time in that part of it. Especially with like just what I know, like the body mod community and shit, like that shit's fucking fucked, bro. Like anybody can go check that stuff out. And like, so, and that's always a good thing because it means I'm wanting more. And like I said, I'm a big fan. That was my whole time. This whole thing was like, all right, try not to praise it too much while we're reviewing it.
Yeah, no,
because like I don't want everyone to be like, all right, they're marrying it. Fuck, turn. Like we'll turn to another video and stuff. But yeah, man, it's a fucking banger, man. I love this movie.
It is, and it is just sexy. That's all I can say about it. It from the even like the music that's in the movie.
Oh yeah,
like when she's doing her surgery,
all the music is real breathy, sexy, pop, trashy kind of pop music. Like, yeah, dude. Like I said, it's a complete intentional thing, and I feel like they stick to that style very well throughout the whole movie. And like I said, I think it's a very good looking movie. It's very the different settings and stuff are good. And yeah, that's what I could tell everyone. Like, man, this is a sexy fucking. It's a 6, and it's even better because there is, especially if you're not used to, just the more kind of like disturbing horror. Which again, the level American Mary is at now is like the shit that Scream is doing now because the envelope's been pushed. But in 2012, when this came out, there was some shit in here you weren't going to see in a lot of your other stuff. And I think it's great. And again, a lot of people know Catherine Isabel from the Ginger Snaps movies. Yep. So like, a lot of people know her. Like she's Scream Queen royalty and shit. And she fucking crushes it in this. She looks gorgeous the whole time. Everything, man. It is, man. It's a sexy, fun time, man. This is a sexy, fun horror movie, and I love it every time I watch it.
Yep, it just sexy. And one of the things, another thing, a little point out about how badass fucking Mary was. In the movie when she was doing the surgery on the 2 boss bitches, she did that whole thing. You know how long that had to be to do 2 arm removals, all that shit had to be a super long surgery. Badass Mary did the whole fucking thing in a pair of high heels.
Yeah, dude, she's, and that's the thing is like, I mean, even everybody, like, look at the cover.
Yeah,
that's how she looks like in almost this entire movie. Like she's never not looking sexy, and she's usually, even if she's at home, she's in like this black, like all the tight legging. It looks like the workout gear kind of stuff. Like it is, but. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think it still stands out to me. And I mean, I don't. I probably saw this not too long after it had came out. Because like I said, I was already, really into like some of the more extreme cinema by 2012. So I probably saw it within the first year or two after it came out. And it's always been one that I always go back to.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's too boundary pushing now, where if I just had a friend who just likes horror and just was like, I want something I haven't heard of before, like not even seeking anything special, bro. American Mary. It's got a great story. The cast is all aces. It's a cool movie. You feel cool when you're watching it. Like it's yeah, man. I said definitely a Mary for me. I will marry American Mary for sure.
Oh, same here. Like I said, I had, when we had talked about, and I brought up like doing the show on this one, I knew before I even rewatched it today, I was like, I'm marrying the motherfucker. I'm marrying it. I knew already.
Yeah.
I excited to get to watch it again.
I was very happy to talk about it and everything like that. I was looking forward to it, but I was like, yeah, this is going to be the easiest fucking one because I married this a long time ago. So I don't mind telling everyone I'm married to it. Cause like I said, it's a great one. And I think, again, if you want to get into the whole fact of female directors, you even brought that up earlier. To me, this is one where if you want some of the girl power shit, bring this shit up, because the Soskas fucking slay with the best of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a ton of dudes who fucking bow down at what they produced in this. And I'm one of them, man. They fucking crushed it.
It's like you said at the beginning. It's like these two bitches walked up in there and dropped their balls on the table and like, here's
absolutely. Absolutely.
They fucking brought it. And it's just, even just watching them two in the movie, it for some reason, when you watch the little bonus feature of the making of it, it's got them two doing the directing and everything. And just the way they are, it's almost like that was them too, in just a little more sexy gothy type look,
Yeah, I mean they're identical twins. Like it's fucking great. I mean they got some, their faces are a little bit different, but I mean they would classify as identical twins.
Yeah,
and yeah, dude. I mean it's like I said, I love this movie. I do. I would really, if someone doesn't like this movie, for God's sakes, fucking comment on this video, because I'm not going to say you're wrong. There's a lot of movies that I really like that I completely understand if somebody else doesn't fucking like them.
Yeah.
This is one of those rare ones where I mean, unless you just don't like horror in general, or you like really basic horror, and some of this stuff kind of toes over the line for you, I just don't know how you could dislike this movie.
Yeah,
this is a fun movie. This is a fun movie.
I would love to hear, like you just said, if you have a problem with this movie and you don't like it, I want to know your reason. Like, sell me on what.
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, I am too, because from the little stuff, we just wanted more. That's what we wanted. After we're done, we want a little bit more, because give me a little bit more to explain this. But there's nothing that you can probably try to convince me on about this sexy thing right here to make me go, oh yeah, you're right. I could see that.
No one's going to convince me. I would just really be curious, like what they didn't like about it. And like, don't go give me one of those like, oh, it was boring. That's not a fucking reason. That's personal taste. I would like for someone to be like, oh, well, because again, I brought up where I think it was a little, we had already seen Mary not be naive and be very strong and be able to adapt in a really fucked up situation, to where to me, it didn't make sense her going to the party. You had a counter with that of being like, yeah, but it was probably because of this reason. And you had examples. And I was like, okay, I didn't feel that way watching it, but I totally get that. And that may have been that makes sense that that's what they were trying to convey. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, it was a little over the place on that. And then, that ending is, like I said, it's so weird because I know what happened and I don't think it's a bad ending, but it was not shot well. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were running out of money, and this was one of the final scenes for, like, you know, because a lot of people, if you know, they don't shoot movies in order of the movie. They have to shoot around schedules, and then they'll blend it all. Maybe they were saving this for the ending and they were running short, or they thought they had the footage and they didn't, and they couldn't do reshoots. I don't know. If I ever got a chance to talk to them, I'd be like, you know, I can ask y'all one question that, you know, what was up with that part of it? Please don't hate me, because
I want to try to reach out to them.
Hey man, you know, I don't know. They're probably going to be like, who with what show? And we're gonna be like, yeah, that's exactly right. Actually, yeah, who with what? That's who we are. We're who with what?
Yeah, I have nothing to lose.
No.
Yeah,
what are you gonna say? What are you
gonna
say?
hurt
No, I knew you were gonna say no.
Yeah, are you gonna bash me and hurt my numbers?
Actually, Actually, I would love for you to bash me. Take some time to bash me. More than likely, you're just going to ignore me.
Yeah, you know, hey, it's all good. But yeah,
but I guess you did say before we let him go, you wanted me to mention.
Oh yes,
yeah. So yeah. In wrapping up, everyone. So I will keep it brief because the video is coming up. So I've had people. Obviously, you guys see my collection behind me. People have asked me about my collection before and some questions about it. So I thought it would be cool to start doing I don't know how often or when or whatever, but I did do an episode where I go through some of my collection and talk about some of the movies that are in it, and talk about, like, you know, the actual what my physical copy looks like, you know, some of the variants and stuff that are out there. It's a unique take on getting to see a few movies out of my collection. That's going up after this one, correct? Like, this comes out on a Monday. That's happening after this, right?
Yes, this will. If you're listening to this on Monday before Friday, this will be on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So check it out if you like that stuff. If you've ever been curious about it, and you know, make sure to let us know in the comments and stuff if you want me to do more of them, because I think I got like maybe 6 or 7 on that video, and as y'all can see, I have a ton more and stuff like that. So check it out. Let me know if you like it.
Yep, 100%. Check it out. Like I said,
it'll be on Fright Flick FMK, by the way. If I didn't make that clear, I don't have a channel or anything like that. Like, Jay's going to release it on this channel.
Yeah, it will be on here. So if you're listening to this on the podcast version, this will not be part of the podcast. This is strictly going to be a YouTube release. So you'll be able to check it out on YouTube. And when you do go check it out, you might as well hit the little fucking subscribe button.
We got to make sure Jay doesn't that Frank Sinatra, Jack Daniels doesn't keep sitting back there much longer. We got to get into 100 subs.
I'm ready to take it off the shelf and break the seal. So we got to get us to 100. But yeah, that's it for American Mary, a fucking sexy ass movie that we both married.
Yep.
That was made by 2 boss ass badass bitches, the Soska sisters.
Absolutely.
You fucking killed it. Awesome movie. Go check it out if you haven't. Like I said, John said it earlier, stream the shit on Tubi.
Yeah, I looked that up today. So, you know, if you guys are watching this on the Monday we released it, we recorded this a few days earlier, but yeah, it was on Tubi as of when we recorded this. So Tubi's always that's the goat of the free services anyway. So yeah, you can support Tubi and watch an awesome movie. Go fucking watch this awesome movie.
Yep. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I appreciate you, brother, coming on here again.
Yeah, man. Fun as always.
Yeah, fucking love it. And
we got to pick our next trilogy.
Yeah, we do. We got to come up with a trilogy.
I know we've got plenty of them that we've talked about. We just got to decide on one and which one's going to be next. I think we talked about the Human Centipede. Yeah. We talked about Hostel, the Hostel trilogy, the Vengeance trilogy out of South Korea. So we'll get that figured out and let everybody know about that eventually.
And we do take suggestions, people. If out of those names we just dropped, Human Centipede, Hostels, if you got in your mind, man, I'd like to hear some shit on Human Centipede, drop us a comment, let us know. I take here, you know. And so, yeah.
You usually don't know more than a few days before Friday what movie you're going to watch and do an episode about anyway. So
I definitely
suggestions would do nothing but help him out.
Yeah, it takes some of my thinking process out of it. And I don't like to think no more than I have to. And, but yeah, hey, once again, brother, appreciate you. And like I said, we're going to see you all later on. Y'all keep pushing play. Go like, subscribe, and follow along with all the shit show. But family, you all know what time it is. We've reached that part of the show where I need you all to reach over. I need you to gather up your shit, put your chairs away, grab your drinks, and get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Ah! Monsters!
Is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
That man's got Mars!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick.
I ate his liver with some fava beans. Nice community. It's us.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.